welcome to Rineyville Elementary for our preschool derby. We're excited to have you. Parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, all of our relatives that came out today, thank you for supporting preschool. Just a special thank you to Miss Arnold and preschool staff here at Rineyville for getting things organized, and for all of our preschool teachers and what they've done. Parents and grandparents, let's just give our teachers a big round of applause for their planning today. We would like to begin our Derby festivities with a pledge to the American flag. If you would please stand. Our flag is in the middle of our room, and we'll join in the pledge this morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we would like to remain standing. Amelia Weber is here today to begin our program by singing My Old Kentucky Home. The sun shines bright on the old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by hard times comes a knocking at the door, then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady, oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for the old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away. That the horses that run the Kentucky Derby are usually 3 years old, just like some of our students. We talked about colts and fillies and all of those things. So we have done a lot of Kentucky tradition learning this week, along with having some fun. So we're going to introduce our schools right now. So schools, when you hear your name, when you hear your school name, I want you to stand up and cheer. So we have students here from Rineyville. Rineyville, where are you at? Some staff. So staff, who's going to show the children how we run the derby here at the preschool derby? All right, wonderful job, ladies. So kids, that's what you will do. Competitive race every year. All right, so we're going to take one child from each class. You're going to line up on the start line. You will finish over here on the finish line. We have our guest governor here today, Miss Carlina Sharon. Can everybody give a large round of applause for Miss Sharon? All right, when you're ready, I will place the call to the post and we will get going. Afternoon, everyone. Great to have you here at Rineyville Elementary for our preschool derby. Thank you, parents and grandparents and all of our visitors that came to support us today. I just want to give a huge shout out to Rineyville staff, Jennifer Arnold, Ruth Ann Smith, for getting everything ready, and to our teachers, preschool across the district. Thank you for getting everything organized and bringing your kiddos today. So if you will, let's give our teachers a big round of applause. We want to begin our ceremony this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. If you will please stand, our flag is in the middle of the room. And join in the pledge with me this afternoon. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'll remain standing, we have Miss Amelia Weber here today that will be singing My Old Kentucky Home. The sun shines bright in the old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by hard times comes a knocking at the door, then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady, oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away.
Thank you, Amelia. We appreciate you coming to do that. Welcome to our Derby. You can be seated. We are going to start the races here in just a minute. We're just going to talk a little bit about what Preschool has been learning this week. This is a big fun day, but leading up to this, we talk about the Kentucky traditions that go along with the Kentucky Derby. We talk about how it is run in Louisville and how that's close to us, and how the name of that place that it's run is Churchill Downs, and that horses run it. And we talk about how it's usually colts, and how those horses are typically 3, which is the same age as some of our kids. So we make lots of connections for them to understand about the Derby and this history that is part of ours living here in Kentucky. We also talk about the garland of roses and how there's over 400 roses in that. And we talk about how that's a big number and that Kroger makes it. And we might go to Kroger. So we not only come and do this fun day where we're being silly together, but we learn a lot about the Derby, which is great. So now we are ready to get started. We're going to introduce our schools. So kiddos over there, when you hear your school's name, I want you to cheer. We have students here from Rineyville. In the Preschool Derby. They will start at the start line and run a lap to the finish line. And to show them how that works, the staff, who's going to show the students how to run their lap? I need some teachers to get ready. So guys, that is exactly what you'll do. You'll run and you'll get a rose right over here, and then you'll go back and have a seat. So if we'll get our first runners to the start line. Oh, and we also welcome our special guest governor, Miss Mary Jane Fender. She started the Derby with us back about 9 years ago at Heartland, and then has retired. So we've invited her back to be our governor today. Wonderful job, preschoolers. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thanks so much for coming, and I hope you have a wonderful Kentucky Derby.